Welcome to Flip with Kip and Lou. I am Lou.
I am Kip.
And it's not about showing me the money. It's about what?
Show me the menu.
It's all about showing the menu. That intro never gets old, man. Never. I love it. I love it. Another episode, Kip.
Yeah. Welcome.
Another episode. And I'm just excited now because class is in session.
Good.
Class is in session. And over the last two episodes, obviously, they got a chance to see the dynamic between you and I, which is cool, right? That's what we want, right? And we're going to continue to show that. But now it's really time to get into the classroom.
Okay.
Because I think what a lot of our viewers are here for, what I know they're here for, is to really learn why financial literacy is important, number one.
Sure.
But number two, why do we even talk about it? And why are we at this point where we want to really dive into our curriculum to really give people some nuggets that they can take home with them forever?
Good. It'll feel good. It feels good. It's like eating healthy.
It's like eating healthy, right? But let's go into a part of our curriculum that I think we didn't really discuss. And this is kind of the inception of it.
Okay.
Flipping the classroom.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
People hear the concept flip all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But flipping the classroom, there is a concept, right?
Yeah.
So let's dive into flipping the classroom because I'm
Sure.
sure there's a teacher, I'm sure there's an administration, there's somebody at home that's trying to really understand, how do I flip the classroom?
Yep.
I have students right now that are not retaining information and they don't have the energy to retain it. But if I can give some energy through flipping the classroom, what does that look like? And
Well,
maybe
everybody
you can
learns
give
differently, you know?
Yeah.
And what we're talking about with flipping the classroom is kinesthetic,
Yep.
which is I need to do in order to learn. I can't just sit here and have you talk to me. I need to do it myself. So flipping the classroom is us initiating a concept like we're going to do, I assume, here in class number one.
Yeah.
And instead of us giving all the answers and talking to someone and someone taking notes and then having to study and memorize the notes, it's taking that concept and doing your own research, looking it up. What does it mean to me? How would I interpret what it is that this concept is in a way that I can understand it? And now you can speak it yourself. Now you flipped the classroom. You're not the student, you're the teacher. Because you went home and you learned a little bit on it on your own. You didn't just get handed information.
So you're telling me I can take my notes to the test and actually take the test with the notes?
I'm saying exactly this. And much like sports, you know, you're at practice with others and you're throwing the ball back and forth. But when you go home, you're throwing that ball against the garage. You're throwing that ball a million times against that garage. That's all by yourself. Now you're learning a little bit about, do you go better to your left or do you go to your right? Who am I with all of this information? Now you go back to practice the next day. And you've got drills with your friends. You've got things that you picked up all on your own. Right. You just flipped the classroom.
Right. And I'm sure that we're going to talk about the accountability that comes from flipping the classroom as well and what that looks like also.
Yep.
Because I'm sure that one may think, while we are flipping the classroom and we are diving into certain levels of information where there is, when you're throwing that ball at the wall or whatever the case may be, you have to go back to that classroom and show that you actually threw the ball against the wall, because it's going to show in the classroom when that teacher asks, what is the answer to the question, right? So there's a level of accountability there as well as there is a level of education, you know, that's tied into it as well. Would that make?
Well, accountability is everything. Honestly, we're not a product of our goals. We're a product of our habits. Okay. So when I look at you, I'm looking at the habits of a guy who, you know, took care of his body, knew how to maintain muscle mass, get out there, stay smart, stay on top of it. I'm looking at the collection of Lou Alexander's habits. I'm not looking at Lou Alexander's goals. Right.
Yeah, so no, that's true.
We are only the summation of the choices and sacrifices we're willing to make.
Well, listen, you'll always hold me accountable for habits any single day. So we'll definitely make sure of that, man. You're one person to literally, if I want to emulate, you're the guy, man.
That's really kind of you.
I appreciate it, man. So look, let's get into this concept, right? Sure. Because when we talk about the core values of money, right? I talk about that specifically, the core values, right? There is a time that you have to put into money to ensure that there is a return, right? And a lot of us use it in the business world where they talk about time to value, right?
Time
it's
value
like,
of money.
If I'm using my time, you know, to increase productivity, then I am increasing my top line. Right. My top line meaning there's more capital that I'm bringing into my business, right? There's more sales that I can convert on, right? There's things that if I use my time wisely, it's going to pay benefits.
Yeah. Time invested today for a benefit tomorrow.
Yeah. That same core concept works as it pertains to talking about money, right?
Every day.
And in our curriculum, we talk about the time to value for money, right?
Okay.
That concept.
Yeah.
But dive into really the intra workings, because theoretically it sounds great, but what does that actually mean in practicality?
It's really important to understand just simply, what are we talking about here?
Sure.
The time value of money. What do you mean?
Absolutely.
What you mean is that a dollar not spent today can be worth more tomorrow on the promise that there's interest.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the time value of money.
Yep.
I can spend this today and get some pleasure or some value today. But if I were able to invest this or put this money to work so that in some period of time it's worth something more, then that's the value of the money, that the present value is greater than the future value if you invest it wisely.
Got it.
So perfect way to understand this, really simply. There's a great rule called the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 is quite simply using the number 72 in order to figure out how much interest do I have to earn on money for how long to double it.
Got it.
So the rule of 72 tells you how long does it take to double some money.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
So here's a simple way to see this now. And this will absolutely knock you out. 1 divided into 72 is 72. So if you earn 1% on your money, it will take you 72 years to double it.
Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's slow. That's slow.
That's not happening.
And we're getting that in traditional banking currently.
Well,
right?
How much do you get, for instance, in your checking account, do you think? Interest?
1%.
Okay, so if you put all your money and you keep it in your checking account because you're being safe, you're being conservative, it's going to take you 72 years to double it.
Wow.
You may not live to 72.
Wow.
On the other hand, if you were receiving 72% interest on that money, it'd take you 1 year to double it.
Wow.
Okay. Same thing, same concept. So now you're not going to get 72% interest necessarily.
Sure.
But instead of that checking account at 1%, a savings account at 6%, you now are getting that money doubled in 12 years. So instead of 72 years at 1% in your checking account, simply moving that money, same bank, into a savings account at 6%, you just saved yourself 60 years of your life.
Now that's
that was worth 30 seconds of a podcast.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Now that's awesome. Now, how does one even go at attacking that or understanding that they can shift money from one account to maybe a high yield savings account? How do they even ask the question, right? And and that's what we have to really dive into, because someone at home may end up hearing, okay, rule of 72, I get the core concept of it, and I have $50,000 that's sitting in my bank right now. And I'm old school mentality. Like, I want my money to sit in the bank because I want to make sure I still have right? But like, how does one even go about shifting into maybe a high yield type of environment where now the core concept of compounded interest and all of these things, it shifts, and now your money is making 6%.
This is as simple as the concept of our whole program about, which is if you know the menu, you know you can order from something other than a checking account.
100%.
Okay. Also on that menu is a savings account, is a certificate of deposit, is a jumbo CD, is IRAs, Roth IRAs, mutual funds. There's all kinds of things on that menu.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's why you're here today. We're showing you the menu, so you can walk more confidently into that bank, not feeling like everyone in the bank's smarter than you, which they are not. Just because they're wearing a suit, which is, by the way, regulated, doesn't make them smarter. You are the smart person.
No, for sure.
Your money, you earned it. To walk into that bank, confidently know, hey, listen, I need X dollars per month in my checking account so I can manage my monthly expenses. But everything over that needs to be in a higher yield account. And that's what it's called, a high yield account.
Now, all of the banks, I'm guessing, right? And also through experience as well, all banks offered high yields, right?
Credit unions offer even higher yields.
So if I'm, that 18-year-old kid,
100%,
right, that's going into the bank, and I bank at JP Morgan Chase. Sure. And shout out to JP Morgan. If you guys are watching, please sponsor us if you guys want to.
You should.
Flip podcast. But a little soft plug there. But so if I walk into the bank and I have a JP Morgan Chase and I have a traditional checking and a savings, what would be my first question if I'm going to maybe the clerk, or if I see one of the guys that are walking the halls, right? What is my question to that guy, and like, what does that look like?
I think your question is, hey, listen, I've got an excess amount in my checking account. I've got an extra, I'm just making up a number, $30,000 that I don't need in this checking account. what are some high yield programs that you have on the menu at this bank that I could take a look at, that I could put that 30,000 to work? And what they'll show you is, for instance, a certificate of deposit known as a CD. And they have time limits, 3 months, 6 months, up to 12 months.
Yep.
They earn interest. And when they mature in 3 months, 6 months, whatever, you get the money back plus the interest. So now that money's been taken away from you to go to work from you for the time present value of money. You're not spending it foolishly. And you know that in 6 months it's coming back with a little interest, so you can plan for the 6 month future.
Now, can I exit with that money after 6 months? Right.
100%.
And so can I exit?
No penalty.
And is there any, because,
as long as you let it mature to completion, you can take your money out anytime after that. You can also roll it over into another CD. If if your goal shifts and you can wait another 3 months for that goal and earn more interest on it, you just get yourself into another of those CDs.
Well,
remember, these CDs are insured up to $250,000 by the federal government.
Wow.
So you put your money to work in one of these, it is guaranteed to not go away.
Wow.
It's yours.
Those are the nuggets that I think a lot of, again, I'm speaking from someone that was a college athlete.
Just didn't see the menu.
Now, granted, right, I didn't have NIL access, right? I was getting FAFSA, right? Pell Grants, which were just covering the basics, right? And oftentimes, right, I wasn't like any other student that had books to pay for. I was on a full ride scholarship, so it was different. But if you get $2,500 for a semester, you got to make that $2,500 last a semester, and that's nothing.
We need to talk budgeting here.
Right? And then we have to talk budgeting, right? But I bring up that story, and I give that example because it's different. The landscape is different now, right? Sure. No one's walking into a bank with $2,500 and asking for a CD. They're not doing that. And someone like myself back then, right, I'm just kind of comparing the old school to the new school. And I think I've reached UNC status now. That's what they call it. so
you got gray hair.
I think I've reached UNC status now, right?
What does that make me?
So, it's an age and demographic of now, if I was born in the 90s now, you're born in the 90s, you're considered an UNC, right? Early 90s, an UNC, and I was born in 89, so I'm probably past an UNC. But
I think the shirt I'm wearing is a lot older than the 90s. For sure, go ahead.
Exactly. But I'm in UNC status now, right? So when I talk to these players, they're like, "What's up, UNC?" You know? So I say that to say is that it's a completely different process that I would have taken back then.
Sure.
Now these guys are coming up on capital, and there is real active capital that they can invest. But just because it's not $2,500, it doesn't change that the mentality, the scarce mentality, is still the same, right? That's the same as it was with me, right? And so what I'm really trying to draw a parallel to is a couple of things, right? Is number one, is there a risk involved with the things that you mentioned, like a CD? And the reason I asked that question about cash on hand, and like you just mentioned, if it's over a level of maturity, then if it gets to that mature phase of 6 months, withdrawal with no penalty. But I want to really talk about things that are not risky, because a viewer may say, well, okay, Kip, I am getting NIL and I'm getting a couple of checks, but I want low risk tolerance right now. And
let me jump on that. You do and you don't. Your advantage is you're young. In this scenario, whether you're 18 or you're an UNC at 33, you're a baby, you're a child. Time is on your side because time compounds the interest to your advantage. So when you're a young person, it's ideal to have an income that can cover your expenses and allow your savings and your growth to grow uninterrupted. That you're just contributing to it, you're not taking from it. And if you can mentally see that's your piggy bank that you just keep stuffing. And it's not a bank for you to withdraw from. It's there to build over time. You're taking advantage of your youth. And this is a way where young people can become much more wealthy than previous generations by simply getting started early. Your money is 100% safe in what we're talking about here. Just like as a fiduciary and a registered representative, I cannot guarantee results. I can, however, guarantee the safety of the American banking system as we sit here today to FDIC insurance of $250K for every bank. That is a guarantee and a promise. So your money invested in a bank certificate of deposit or a savings account, a jumbo CD, any of these bank platforms, you are safe.
Awesome.
It will not go away. And you can predict, like a heart attack, on the date that's going to mature. That money's coming back. And it's coming back with interest. So this allows a person to plan their financial future. And wow, I mean, this is what we're all here about,
Absolutely.
which is how do I wake up with less anxiety about my money? This is it. This is the thing, is that you're making plans today where you know internally you can feel confident. You've made a smart plan. It's safe. You know it's coming back. You know when and how much. You can now start to see your life in increments beyond just today.
Wow.
Of how am I going to pay for today's meal?
No, oh my God. That is
right. That's the confidence of knowing the menu and feeling comfortable to walk into any restaurant and go, no, don't talk to me about no checking account now. I need to talk to that CD department.
So great point. Great point. So now when we talk about showing you the menu, before I get to the menu, I have to make sure that I can afford everything that's on the menu.
Okay, so
right?
Get a budget.
Yeah. You see where I'm going here, right?
I see
you see where I'm going because when I walk into any restaurant, I know for a fact the waiter may not know, right? The date that's with me or my friends that's with me, they may not know, right? But they don't know that I'm looking at that menu and I have to make a clear distinction of understanding, can I afford the filet mignon or am I just going to get an appetizer with a drink?
Right. Until I already
exactly, right? It's like, you know what, guys? I ate at home already. Oh my God, I'm stuffed.
Yeah, you go ahead and order whatever you want.
Right. You guys order. You guys go ahead. But then what happens at the end of it? Well, guys, we're just going to split this check together. Now you got a friend that's already ordered a filet mignon. You're like, okay.
And he forgot his wallet.
I'm stuck. And so I talk about that is that we have to have a proactive mentality as we approach a menu, right? And that proactive mentality is understanding what is my basis, right? What is my baseline of what I can actually spend and what can I allocate resources towards. And this is so important for young people. And I really want to hone in on this point. It's because I learned this very late in life, right? And again, I learned this later. And when I say later, I mean I was in my 20s,
right?
That
late, you're still young.
Yeah, right. But I learned this later and I look back and I think it's all about trial and error. I look back and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of things that I could have really eliminated from my lifestyle, but I thought that I needed them, right? I thought that I needed to drill down into them. So now I was spending blindly and didn't even realize that really didn't correlate directly with my number. And so my number was decreasing every single month. And why is that, right? I'm making the same amount of money. Active income is coming in, but why
you're not
is
in
that?
control of your money.
I'm not in control of it. So let's dive into budgeting at its very baseline, rudimentary level so people can really understand it.
I'm going to do that, really breaking it down, really specific here.
Please.
I'm going to give one top line concept, which I may have talked about in an overview session that we've had online here. And then I'm going to give you 15 points, like boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Good.
Listen, the top line concept is this is really interesting, and don't let the math get in the way. It's called 1/10,000th. Super simple. Answering your question of going to that restaurant and going like, oh my gosh, can I afford the filet mignon or do I need to eat the spaghetti? Let's making that choice. And one, let's say, costs $10 more, and you're doing that math in your head. The rule of 1/10,000th is this. If you have a net worth of $100,000, it's working for you. It's in the bank. It's in one of these CDs, whatever. That's your net worth, and it's there and it's plugged away for you, and it's earning interest. Okay, it's making money. 1/10,000th of that is $10. You can take $10 a day and you can blow it every single day as long as you like. Because when you add up that $10 a day over time, the interest you're earning on that 100,000 covers all of it. What does that mean? That means that when you get to a point of the first 100,000 in this example, you can walk into that restaurant and you've got some wiggle room. You've got some flexibility. This is what Robert Kiyosaki talks about as far as rich man, poor man.
Yes.
Which is that if your expenses are here and your passive income, money that's earning money on your money, whether you work or not, exceeds your expenses, you're rich. You're good. The money is working for you, is covering your expenses. So now that's the rule of 1/10,000.
Now, what side? Now honing on that point, because you referenced Robert Kiyosaki, and he talks about the cash flow quadrant. Right? And he has all those different. So where does that put you on that quadrant? Right? Are you someone that's income based? Right?
Well, not anymore. No, now you're not income based. You allow your income becomes spendable capital.
Got it.
If you should choose to even have an income.
Got it.
If you don't want to work anymore and generate day-to-day income, your passive income, your investments that we're talking about here, that in shifting that money from a checking account earning 1% into something earning 6%, is now giving you enough money to cover your expenses every single month.
But Kip, you told me I can blow through $10 in this economy. What's $10 going to get me in this economy, Kip?
Yeah.
Don't you see the prices of
Yeah.
food right now?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, food
Yeah.
is expensive.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, if I go to McDonald's, I can't just spend $10 at McDonald's.
Sure.
I'll get a McFlurry. Back when I was coming up, it was $1 menu. Now, it's the value menu.
Yeah.
And the value menu is $3.49 at a starting price.
Well,
so what am I spending $10 on? Kip?
Well, you shouldn't be in that store. You have no business spending $10 on something like McDonald's, which frankly is not really feeding you all that well.
No, not at all.
That's a luxury, and that is what that $10 is for. That's just,
Sure.
remember, I just created $10 free for you every day.
For sure. Yeah.
These are $10 free. I just gave you simply, again, by listening to the podcast, understand what I'm talking about. I just found you $10 free.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is, instead of going to McDonald's every day, you should be going to the grocery store, the one you can afford, buying the materials you need in order to cook yourself at home, something healthy, and you go out to McDonald's for that McFlurry for dessert. You don't get the whole meal there.
Gotcha.
Now you still had the experience. You hung out with your friends, but you didn't pocket yourself down.
Yeah.
You took care of yourself on what it is you needed to do with what it is you knew you had. And this, I got to get into this.
I was about to say, I don't want.
This gets into the budget,
and I don't want to get. Yeah, exactly.
But here's how you do this.
Yes, let's drill down. Yep.
So I'm gonna read some points here, okay? And we're gonna show you how to break into these in a lot of detail in later episodes if you want that detail. But these are the rules. You follow these rules, and you're gonna keep yourself out of trouble.
Perfect.
Starting with zero base. What does zero base really mean? Is that every dollar is accounted for that you're earning, and every dollar of expense is accounted for and budgeted. Okay. So you know where every dollar is coming in is applied to your day-to-day expenses. There's no like, oh, I think I'm making a little more there, and this should cover it. You know exactly where this dollar is going and how it applies to that utility bill or that cable bill or whatever it is. And you carry that in your head.
Gotcha.
Know your money.
Got it.
That's it. Just got to know your playbook. You're walking around, you're rehearsing your plays in your head. Know your money.
And that's is that a specific hard number?
It is. Okay. It's a really hard number.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Perfect.
So exactly. You're hearing me, which is what am I bringing in? What am I costing? It's a simple analysis, period.
Perfect.
Okay. It takes a little bit of discipline to literally write down what do I earn and how reliable is it? And what am I expending on? And being honest with yourself. Got it. What are you really spending on? You just look at your bank statement and see where did the money go.
Got it. Okay.
Second thing, you want to do this as a team. Anything budgeting is hard because budgeting is essentially you telling yourself no. So doing that alone is hard to maintain.
Gotcha.
That's a self-discipline that, it's not as easy for most people. Doing it as a team, like you do with sports or anything else, everyone shows up to the weight room together. Yep. Everyone runs around the track for 15 minutes together.
Sure.
There's a reason that you're doing this together, is we can all feel the pain together.
Yeah.
So if there's a roommate you have, you need to be in a budgeting program with the roommate. It's very difficult to manage yourself when your environment's like going here and everywhere. If you're married, your wife or husband needs to be on that page. Yep. Living with your girl or your guy, they need to be on the page. Sure. Doing this as a team, budgeting as a team, it's much easier.
Okay, and I love this, right? But I also want to intertwine the morale and the camaraderie you have to build with this team, right? And what I mean by that is this. Sometimes teams are not on the same page.
Sure.
The playbook may be very, very successful on other teams, but for some reason, the players on the field can effectively operate and execute the plays that we are literally drawing up for you guys to go out and perform.
So what's the
and so what I want to dive into is how do you get the camaraderie and build and get people on the same page to know that these are the plays that we're running to execute, especially if I'm someone that's young, where I'm in a culture where flexing is everything.
I'll tell you, listen,
and I just need to get my boys and my guy and my girl. I need to get us on the same page.
You need to share the wins and the losses. This is how teams build camaraderie. Is you go through the struggle together. And when you go through the struggle together and you get a victory, you share that victory together.
So there has to be some level of mistake.
That's it.
Out the way.
This is about trial and error, and it's called life. This is what we're talking about, life here. Right?
And I love.
I'm talking about a train on a track.
Perfect.
Okay, we're talking about like shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
And sometimes you don't win. Sometimes you thought you were budgeting perfectly for a month. At the end of the month, you realize you did not do it correctly. Having that honest conversation with others on the team is what builds the camaraderie and builds the team, and it builds the commitment of the individuals to the team. Because they show that everyone on the team is vulnerable and willing to say, you know what? I underestimated our groceries.
Wow.
We're going to have to find a less expensive grocery store.
Wow.
Or we're going to have to stop buying the organic every single time and then not eating it and watching it go stale in the refrigerator. We're going to have to spend more time actually cooking on this stuff. Team, what are we going to do here? We can't keep like going down this hole. That's how teams make the adjustment and win.
I agree.
And that's the same on sports field as it is in life.
I agree. And I'll add a quick note to that as well, because as you're talking about it, right, when we think about the discipline that it has to take for someone to acquire the knowledge and get information that they weren't privy to prior, right? And now you are teaching your community.
Yeah.
As we talk about all the time, right? It's going back to the concept of, building a community and finding your community, right? And when you build your community and your community now trust in you to really start to operate in a really new, form or format that you've operated in before, now they're saying, okay, that's a captain I can follow.
That's right.
That's someone I can follow because they're showing me proof that over time I've had success.
So you're now talking generational wealth. And this is what we're all about here.
Exactly.
This is if you're doing this at home and your young people are watching you at home doing this, you're showing them the lessons of, okay, I know how to do this. I don't need to make $1 million a year. I just need to be able to manage what it is I've got, my expenses and my own capacities to earn, and to have the discipline to write it down and involve other people on the team to participating in it. This is generational wealth. This is how people each one teach one.
I love it. I love it.
Essentials. What do you need to cover? And starting with yourself, you've got to take care of yourself. I love this line when all of us have been on an airplane, and the stewardess or flight attendant is going through their routine, and when the mask drops down, the first thing they'll say, take care of yourself first. Put your mask on first before helping others. This is true with budgeting as well. You've got to take care of yourself. You're no good to anyone else if you're constantly starving, constantly exhausted, constantly running around. So essentials, what do you need in order to cover yourself and to make yourself feel whole? That's your first priority. That's your needs. Then we get to the wants. Essentials first.
Okay. And what before that point, the needs, I'm guessing that's categories of food, rent, toiletries, rents, the things of that nature,
things
right?
That
and I just want to be specific because someone at home may ask, like, well, I think I need these pair of shoes. And you don't, right? Essentially. Now, if you are running marathons and you want the shoes, maybe.
Or let's say if you're running marathons, or you're saying you're starting a job that's actually going to change your financial status, and you now need a pair of shoes or a suit so you can walk in and maintain that job, that now becomes a need.
Exactly.
And so you're going to spend a little less on something else that you thought was a need before.
Perfect. And
you're going to have to shift. This is the adjustment to the budget. This is the teamwork. And
I love that.
This is coming back to the huddle with like, okay, I thought we were doing a running play, but they got a stiff linebacker here. So we're going to do a little play action. We're going to draw that linebacker in on this next play. Ready, go. That's the adjustment that just happened.
Damn, Kip, why haven't anyone talked about it at this level, right? Because I think
I don't think they want you to know.
And again, I don't want us to get off topic. I want to say no, and I think that's a great point because you're breaking it down in such a sense when we talk about flipping the classroom, right? You're breaking it down with real life examples, but for someone that's at home listening, they can say, "Wow, these steps are a lot easier than I thought." Because when I get my check every 2 weeks, I'm just looking at the top line of what's coming in and I'm just like, okay, cool. Money's going anywhere, right? I'm spending blindly, right? And it's like, well, if I can break it down where I can show some agility in my budgeting, right? Where I can look at my needs, my wants, and maybe my must-haves or whatever, however you want to categorize it. Now you're creating a system for me that's easy to follow rather than me being so scared about budgeting. And then also too, it's kind of tugging on my ego a little bit because I don't have as much money as I thought I'd have. So what's happening, Kip? I love this concept.
Great.
Man.
I'm glad.
Thank you for
paying
driving
attention to the defense if you're on offense.
100%.
Or the other way around.
100%.
What's really happened on the other line of the scrimmage from play to play? That's why we go into huddles after every play.
100%.
Go into huddle. At the end of every inning, all the players run off and sit together. Why aren't you doing this at home? At the end of every day, why aren't y'all running in and making a huddle? What happened today? How much did you have to spend at school? On and on and on.
Love it. Okay, next
one. So next, overestimate your expenses. I know you think you know because you looked at 1 month. Add 10, 15% onto those expenses. Things just cost more.
And that's just unexpected occurrence.
It just happens.
Okay,
and you might want to underestimate your revenue. Sometimes things take longer to actually matriculate and pay you.
Got it.
And they may not actually come in as strong as you thought. We'll be talking about taxes in this room here eventually, and that's going to hit you. That hits everybody, like death. You can't avoid these things.
Right.
Okay. So overestimate your expenses, underestimate your revenue, play yourself safe.
So if I'm making $2,000 a month, usually I should actually say I'm making $1,500.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
And is that a big enough gap?
If you've got a gap at the end of the month and a couple of months you're keeping that gap, one, you just accumulated some savings.
Yeah.
And two, maybe now you learn a little bit. So, okay, you can relax the purse string a little bit. If you see some consistency in that discipline.
Got it.
All right. Adjust each month. We've talked about this. This is going back to the huddle. You've just got to be adjustable and flexible. This is where the team really bonds too, is in the adjustment period. It's not any one person's dictation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A quarterback in the huddle has to know the play, but he's also got to listen to the line. He's got to know what's happening.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now this is an easy one. Pay off your debts. Once we've handled the priorities, the next level after the needs is paying your debts. Okay. You got that. One is priority is me first. Then it's, what do I owe someone else? Now, if you have a number of debts, which a lot of people do, start with the smallest one
and pay off that.
The easiest one to pay off. Pay it off. It's like getting that first down on an easy end around play. Okay, look at this. We can just simply do a sweep and we got ourselves 10 yards every play. Go ahead and close down that smallest debt. What you'll be doing as well is, instead of that debt accumulating on interest plus principal, you're canceling it out. You'll have more expendable income to pay down that bigger debt. So by paying the smaller ones off first, you'll attack the bigger ones quicker.
So that's awesome. And
that's really huge.
No, that's huge. No, that's huge, right? And I want to take a little deeper dive, because I think this is a struggle for a lot of folks, a lot. And I'm not talking about the 19 to 20-year-old. I'm talking about folks that have established income, that is living life day to day, that's working, moms and dads, right? That go through this kind of debt stacking. And when I say debt stacking is, I have a credit card that has a $10,000 amount on it. And my first year says 0 APR. So you know what? I'm going to spend that 10,000. And all of a sudden a year comes around and now I have to pay off that 10,000. But what I'm not reading in the fine print is that 10,000 is going to now accumulate interest of 22 or 25%. Some credit cards that you obviously are, that you are leveraging. So I want to bring it all back around to what you just mentioned about paying off the debt, because someone may look at that number and they say, wow, man, it's going to take me so long to pay off these student loans, right? Like I got $25,000 of student loans. I don't know how I'm going to tackle this. Or I got $5,000 on this credit card. How I'm going to tackle it, where my expenses is already, taking up majority of my income. So my overhead is already over. So how does someone now go after debt in a way outside of saying, I have to make more income, which we know that that's the easiest channel, but someone that just has the income that they
really
have,
simple,
how do they get to that?
Honestly, every long journey begins one step at a time. If you're underwater on a credit card, the first thing you have to learn is we can't do that ever again. If you're not underwater on a credit card, don't start. Credit cards, who has all the money? The owners of Visa or the people who have a Visa? Okay? So the owner, Mr. and Mrs. Visa, they're pocketing your money.
Yes.
The people who have the credit cards are not the people who own the credit card.
Got it.
So you need to get out of their business. You are paying their business.
Okay.
The credit card is strictly for emergencies, and strictly when you know you can pay it off over time, because you're killing your credit as well. Even if you max out that credit card and pay it off every month, you're still jeopardizing your credit. So a credit card is a dangerous tool when it's used as a personal bank. It is not a personal bank. And so I'm gonna tell you a couple of cool things on that. One is you need to automate your bill payments.
Got it.
There's some digital technology and digital currencies. Maybe you can talk a bit about what some of these are that young people are using right now, where automatically it's linked up to your checking account or wherever you have your money, your savings account, whatever it's drawing from. And every month, those bills are going out.
Yes.
And you can calculate them. They can be part of your fixed budget, and it's automatic.
Yes.
This keeps it off your credit card.
Yes.
Second is, instead of a credit card, a debit card.
Yes.
A debit card is a card that only has as much value as the cash that's behind it.
Cash is
key. And when
key.
you run out of it, you try to buy something and it isn't there.
Yep. Yeah.
A third thing that's really important in this is a cash envelope.
Yes.
A cash envelope is literally that. It's an envelope you keep in a desk and you put whatever cash you think you need to spend on food. If food is a problem to your budget, if you're finding that every week or every month, gee, I can't get out of this DoorDash thing, or I'm ordering food, or I'm taking people out, or somehow or another, I'm spending more on food than I need to. If you need to spend 50, but you're spending 100, you take that 50 bucks, you put it into literally an envelope in cash. When you go out to meals or you go to the grocery store, you never take your credit card, you take that envelope. And now you're touching your money and you're watching it go and you're seeing how little you have left.
Yes.
This tactile relationship is kinesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
This is flipping the classroom.
That's awesome.
This is the credit card is lecturing you.
That's awesome.
The cash envelope is you putting it into action.
That's awesome.
You're touching it.
That's
you
awesome.
will not overspend on a cash envelope.
That's awesome.
Because you have to fill it up in cash from somewhere.
And there's been so many, oh no, I love that. And there's so many trends on like Instagram, TikTok that we see all the time where they have these cash envelopes, or like I teach my son, he has a book that his grandmother gave him, my mother, and he has a book where it follows a 55-day journey. Okay. Right. So every single day, numerically, you put $1 in, write $1. And if it's day 2, put $2, day 3, $3. But what it teaches him is compounded interest, exactly. Right, over time. But it also teaches him, hey, discipline. I need to have discipline.
Time value of money.
Time value of money, right? Yeah. And so when you talk about that, right, I'm thinking about my son now, where at such a young age, he knows, hey, Dad, it's day 45. Now he's asking Pops for $45, which is a different story. Yeah. I'm the one budgeting, but at the end of the day, it's still going to carry on to him because he's like, I need $45. Yeah. Cool. We're going to put $45
so
in.
Athletes do this too, Luke.
So exactly.
When you wake up, I mean, I do it on my little level. I wake up and I do 20 push-ups today. Tomorrow I'm going to do 25. Next day I'm going to do 30.
It's compounding over time.
You go into the gym. I mean, I'm working on my personal max. Okay, I'm benching 200. Next week I'm going to be 225. Next week I'm going to see if I can get to 300. This is the same exact exercise.
100%.
Why not do what you're doing in the weight room with your wallet?
Wow. Okay. I love that. So speaking of wallets, I love that. Hey, build muscle, get wallets. Hey, listen, I'm telling you.
I just think, why not?
Why not?
We talked about this one too. You've got to have a why. Setting a clear goal. It's so hard to save or to budget just because somebody told you to.
Sure.
But if you have a why, a purpose for that money, now you know why you're putting it into a CD that'll mature in 9 months, because you've got a tuition bill in 9 months. And wouldn't it be great for a birthday present to your mom if she didn't have to pay tuition this month?
Got it.
And because you plan 9 months in advance, that's your mom's birthday. I mean, what a response from your mom. Wow. Not only were you thinking of someone other than yourself with your money, her, but you had the foresight to plan the event in advance and to stick to that discipline. And your why is to see the thrill and joy on your mom's face of realizing she raised someone who is mature enough to be selfless and kind.
Oh, and
I mean, whatever you're doing with the rest of your life, you're a success. You're absolutely. A winner.
Now, I want to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Please.
Right? Yeah. And I want us to put our mindset, right, or put ourselves in a mentality of somebody's why. And their why is to make sure that they can support their mother and their family, right? Yeah. And when we close our eyes and we think about that guy or that gal that is, encountering the pressure of making sure that they are the financial means to back home, right? Just because I'm away on college and I'm making money doesn't mean that there is not a lifestyle that I still need to maintain, or not even a lifestyle. I think that's even the wrong word. My mom needs to still get by.
There's a cost of living.
There's a cost of living for her still.
Sure.
And I am that financial responsibility. I have that financial responsibility and burden on me, right? Mm-hmm. And so I get what you're mentioning, right, about the savings and things of that nature. But sometimes I have to make sure that I am reacting in a sense where my mother, my little brothers and sisters, maybe my aunt that's living there, right? These are people that raised me. I have to make sure that they have some means to get through life. And so when we talk about building that community, Kip, I gotta get everyone on board. Because if I don't have everyone on board,
that's the answer,
right? Then
that's the answer.
What's going to happen? And I got to think about
this is how you say yes instead of no.
Yeah.
When those family members or close friends from your community come to you and need a little something, instead of being taught, no, you can't take care of those people. You got to take care of yourself. How to say yes is what I prefer.
Gotcha.
How to say yes is, if you want my money, you got to be on my team.
Yeah.
I've got to see you in this huddle on time every single day or whenever these huddles are called.
Yes.
I need to see you budgeting your life. If you want my money, I need you to be as disciplined about that money as I am on with myself.
Oof.
So if you want $100 loan from me,
Yeah.
are you managing yourself well enough that I can see giving you that $100? And if not, I'm not going away. This is me saying yes. I'm going to help you with a budget. Why do you need this money? Why don't you have it yourself? What happened?
Yeah.
How can we plug the holes in your ship together so that when I put this money in, you're not coming here every single day asking for it over and over?
I love it.
So if you want to be on my team and you want my money, the answer is yes. I want you on the team.
Yeah.
I will never say no to you.
Yeah.
However, I need you to be disciplined if you're on this team. Because otherwise, I need to put somebody else on the team because I got to win these games.
And I know for some that hear that may be hard to create that boundary. And I understand it. I get it, right? I get that we have to create that boundary. But like anything that we do in life, you have to create some type of boundary, right? Because when you jeopardize your boundaries, what ends up happening is, going back to your reference, right? I have to put my mask on first before I can help you. Let me gather information. Let me learn. Let me take some bumps and bruises. Exactly. So that way now when I'm applying back to you and I can give to you, I can give to you successfully. And it's not just a one-time occurrence. It's happening in perpetuity. It's happening multiple times. And then what ends up happening is this. It's not just the money, Kip. It's not just the money that I'm giving you.
No, not at all.
Now what's happening now is I'm giving you teachable moments and lessons that you can now apply and you can take on. But what has to happen is this.
You're getting confidence you can share with your community.
With your community. But what has to happen with this on the receiving end? The recipient has to be in a position where they understand there is no ego involved. There's no ego involved here. And at the end of the day, I am coming to the source into the well that is running to ensure that that well doesn't run dry. I need to congratulate and say thank you very much for learning this information.
And thank yourself.
Because 100%.
Yep.
That's without question. But I'm talking about the recipient. Yep. That recipient needs to praise that, because what happens in the team? What happens in any environment playing sports? There's a crowd of spectators that's watching us. There's a sideline. There's family of support. And when they're cheering, what ends up happening? Now they say momentum shifts and I'm ready. I'm running through a damn wall like I'm ready right now. And we talking about money. I'm ready to run through a wall. But that was need to happen within our communities. Help me run through the wall with you financially. Right? Help me run through the wall, but you need to give me my opportunity to go on the field and execute.
And you need to give them the opportunity to be on your team.
Exactly.
And so this is the collaborative exercise of managing money.
100%.
So again, when somebody comes to you and you learn how to say yes, and you help them with the disciplines of yes, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to turn around and they're going to give that lesson to somebody else because it makes them feel good. And now we're talking about athletes leaving a community, learning some lessons on how to build teams around them, coming back to their community with these lessons, imparting on greater teams within the community. These are now strong, supportive communities that understand that each one can teach one.
Love it. I love it. All right. So look, I don't want to lose sight. Did we go through everything budgeting? We got a couple more.
I want to say that you need to have a miscellaneous line in your budget.
Got it.
You will put everything that you think you're spending on and then just throw a miscellaneous. Miscellaneous means whatever. And this is a big one because budgets don't always work. Like at the end of the month, you might have blown it. But if you have 10% miscellaneous there, it's like your contingency. You kind of got a little saving grace in there. So this also leads to another point, which is give yourself a break. Be graceful on yourself.
Have grace. Have grace.
Like we're here like talking and we're like all like confident guys. So like, come on now. I'm just a guy. I wake up with all the anxieties and insecurities of everybody else every morning.
I like that.
Give yourself a break. You might get it wrong for a while, but if you stick with this, the exercise is a good exercise. Am I always doing the military press perfectly? Not always. Sometimes I need to sit up a little, tuck my spine in. It'll be a better lift. But as long as I'm here and I'm not hurting myself, good for you. Good for you.
I got you.
Take it easy on yourself.
Love that. I love that.
And this is where mindfulness can really help you a lot too.
Got it.
The last here is practicing commitment over comparison. And this is a mentality.
That's huge.
This is exactly what's more important to you.
That's huge.
You know, your commitments to yourself. And again, you are the product of your habits. 100%. You are the product of your commitments. Or is it more important to you to compare yourself to somebody else who's not in your circumstances.
100%.
And this is such an obvious answer. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
leading question. It's
Yeah.
almost an insulting question. But yet we do it all the time
Wow.
where we think, oh, I need to have this because I saw it there. So-and-so's on a vacation, etc. You shouldn't be talking to me about vacations until you've got discretionary money. Until we're talking about past year insurance and you've got yourself some coverage, and you've got a little savings in the rainy day. These are things that you can reward yourself for internally so that when you do take that vacation, you feel great on vacation. You know how to relax on vacation. You're not stressed that, you know what, I'm spending money I really don't have. What kind of vacation is that? Let's stop that, America. Let's stop that.
But let me ask you this, Kip, because you just mentioned before, right? When you were talking through your notes, you just mentioned give yourself some grace. Sure. Well, you know what? That vacation may be my grace. So, you know, I have to figure out how to have a balance, right? And you just mentioned it. It's like, I can't talk about vacation. Well, look, I know money-wise right now, Kip, that I may not be where I want to be, but my God, I am practicing 40 hours a week, Kip. I have a season that is all year long.
Lou, this
right?
is about you being good to yourself. Just because you're on a weight training program doesn't mean you can't have a cookie at night. That makes you feel good. But you know you're going to have to run an extra lap.
Right.
So you want to take that vacation, go for it. But you're going to have to run an extra lap.
But we know we have to have the mentality to come back around.
You are the totality of the choices and sacrifices you're willing to make.
I love it.
You cannot escape that fact.
I love it.
You are the totality of your choices and sacrifices.
Look, I love that. I love that piece, and I love everything from budgeting. And I hope everyone that's at home, right, and anyone that's listening, please understand that these concepts that are broken down, they're tangible, right? But there's also agility in these concepts, right? And we're not saying that there has to be, it has to be a structure, but we're not saying that there is a certain level of militance that goes into this, right? You're going to learn at your level, but just making sure that you're learning is all we want, right? That's all we care about is making sure.
We'd rather you make it your own.
You make it your own, right? And
take these concepts and make them your own.
And this is a customizable piece.
Exactly.
But I want to transition real quick. I don't know if none of you guys seen Family Matter out there because I know I'm Unc, so I'm dating myself right now, right?
Sure.
But Family Matter is a show that Stefan and Urkel.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
So we know this,
obviously,
right?
I know her.
Stefan and Urkel, right? So let's fast forward, Kip. We've done everything right. We've done all the mindfulness. We've been disciplined. Everything is good, Kip, right? And now, just like Family Matters, we put ourselves in this time machine. Urkel does.
Okay.
And now we are all Urkels in our lives. And now we come out and we're Stefan.
Okay.
So now I'm handsome.
Yeah, you are.
I look good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. We're handsome. We're stepping out. We got clothes. We got the girl, right?
Yep.
Laura from Family Matter, right? We got her, right?
Yep.
That's what all we aspired. We wanted Laura.
That's why
right?
I do everything.
And that's why we wanted to do everything is we want Laura. We got the girl. We have the community around us now.
Yeah, sure.
And also the parents love us, right?
Yeah,
the parents now love us. When I was Urkel, they didn't love me.
Yeah.
But now I'm Stefan. They see that I got that certain decorum or that rasp pizzazz that I'm like, oh, that's the guy.
Good for you.
But now, as Stefan, I got $100,000 in the bank.
Oh,
Kip.
cool. I know where you're going.
Listen, I got $100,000 in the bank. They just gave it to me. I'm Stefan, and I got a pocket full of money. But you know what? As Stefan, I got to make the right choices with the money.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got to make sure that I need to figure out what vehicles, where do I put this money? Because I want to continuously be Stefan.
Okay.
I don't want to be Urkel anymore.
All right.
Right? So how do I secure myself of being Stefan? Because now I got this $100,000. So talk to me about this simulation that I just put myself in with $100,000.
So $100,000 is the place where your wealth begins. And a first lesson of wealth is that wealthy people borrow from their own wealth.
Yeah.
You don't pay taxes when you borrow on your own wealth. So it's earn, borrow, die.
Love that.
That's the formula. Earn, borrow, die. Jeff Bezos earned. Now he borrows. Someday he may die.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's how it works. So you got your $100,000. You walk into the bank and you set that $100,000 up into some kind of an investment account.
Yeah.
If you're young, like Stefan, or your age or whatever it may be, time's on your side.
Yeah.
That investment account should be probably about 80% stock. So it's a little bit aggressive, about 20% bonds. So you've got a little safety in those bonds in case the market kind of mixes. But since you're so young and you're not going to pull that money and touch that money, you're going to allow that principal to go to work for you, put it in an aggressive portfolio and don't touch it, keep adding to it. Now, when you want some money, you go to that same bank and you have them create a liquidity line or a credit line for you. And that's like on your home equity line. Okay. The collateral is the money in the bank or your home and an home equity line.
Mm-hmm.
The bank will lend you up to about 90% of the money in there. So that $100,000, you can pull out 90,000 of it. Still have 100,000 in the bank, right? I didn't pull out any money.
Yes.
That money's still making interest on the market, 10, 12% or something like that every year. But I can borrow up to 90,000 on it. And as long as I'm making the interest payments and returning that money and paying it back, that's my money. No taxes, nothing. So I have created the Bank of Lou, or the Bank of You, by taking that money and depositing it into an interest account and then borrowing on it, making certain that all I need to pay back is the interest costs on that borrowing. So if I borrowed 90,000 at 5% and it's $4,500 a year, as long as I'm paying that 4,500 back every year, that 90,000 is mine. And now that 100,000 just turned into 120,000 over the year. So now that 90, I can now borrow up to 105,000 instead of 90. So now the next year, that 120 is going to be, say, 150. And I can borrow up to 140.
Wow.
Now I haven't made anything else.
Wow.
All I've done is borrow against myself. And how much have I paid in taxes?
Zero.
Zero, my
And that was going to be my next question.
Zero.
Right now, that's
how you get rich on your first $100,000.
Wow.
Got it?
Wow.
That simple.
Wow.
That simple. That's why Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett say over and over again, the first 100,000 is the hardest 100,000, but once you get there, you will be a millionaire. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you all the steps of what they mean. This was just the first one.
Wow.
Earn, borrow, die is number one. You don't have to work so hard anymore once you get to this 100,000 threshold and you log into Flip with Lou and Kip.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's done.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that. I love that because honestly, when we talk about debt as you're going through it and people think about borrowing, they think about it so negatively. And by you obviously breaking down that assessment,
good debt and bad debt.
Right, well, exactly. And we'll get into that in obviously future episodes. But by you stating it that way, it just gives some simplicity. So thank you for that. Sure. All right, so now I'm out of the simulator. Right. And we know Stefan had good hygiene.
Okay.
He had real good hygiene.
And
this is a segment where we are flipping the financial hygiene.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So a couple of rapid fire questions. Kip. All right. Our viewers at home, you guys are inquiring about these questions. You're sending them in. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. And also to inquire about some jerseys as well. Because like you see me every episode, I'm wearing a new jersey.
Lou needs new jerseys.
And you guys, please talk about it. Like what jersey do you want me to wear next? I wore Flip merchandise last week. I got Waterboy on right now. Next week, it'll be another one. You guys stay tuned, but send me something, Mitchell and Ness. All right, back to it. Flipping to hygiene.
Okay.
Quick questions, right? And if you guys are just now tuning in, flipping to hygiene is where we go through questions, rapid fire, where we're going to just talk about, honestly, some financial things that at a top level you can do instantly and you can take home with you. All right?
Okay.
So, Kip, let's go to it. First question. What does diversifying my portfolio mean?
Sure. Diversification as a word means to spread out risk. That's the simple answer. Putting all your money into one stock is not diversified. If that company goes up, good for you. But as soon as that company is starting to wobble, your entire nest egg is in that. So diversifying is, for instance, putting your money into an index fund, like the Standard & Poor 500, S&P 500. Those are 500 of companies that make over $8 billion a year. Okay. Bigger companies than you or I are probably ever going to have.
Yeah.
Putting your money into an index fund makes you invest in all 500 companies. That's divestiture. Putting your money in an index fund and also into some real estate, also into some gold, also into some passive investments like collectibles. Now you're really talking a diversified platform.
Wow. Love it. You guys hear that?
This is because sometimes things go up and other things go down, but there's always a cycle. So if you participate in the completeness of the full cycle, no matter where the cycle is, you're participating in it, no matter where it is in the circle.
Love it. Let's keep this train moving.
Please.
We on the track, baby. Let's keep this train moving. All right. How can financial mindfulness reduce anxiety?
Well, any mindfulness, if it's practiced, will reduce anxiety because mindfulness simply means be here now.
Got it.
And anxiety, by definition, is being here worried about something that happened or something that's going to happen.
Faith.
So you're standing here, but your mind is yesterday or tomorrow. So to relieve that anxiety, it's being here now. And this is this whole idea of waking up with a financial purpose and having a financial roadmap.
Yes.
Which we get into and you can download episodes on and we'll really show you a lot of the specifics.
Awesome. Last one here. Let's bring it home. All right. Last one.
Great.
What role does kindness play in building wealth? I know this is something.
You can see me grinning.
I know this is one for you right here. And listen, if you guys can literally see this in studio right now, the man just turned completely red because he's blushing, but he's just loving this question, because when I tell you kindness is literally, that is his core competency for just anything in life. When I first met this guy. So I knew this was going to be a question for you.
Kindness for my family is a religion, which is that it's someone else first. It's community first. I'm here as a wealthy person trying to give the secrets that wealthy people don't give to the rest of the world. To me, this is commodity kindness.
Yeah.
Commodity kindness.
Yeah.
There's kindness to my wife when I go home, which is putting myself in her place, even though I've had an intense day. Where has she been, and how to calibrate this? Kindness and money are absolutely hand in hand. It is impossible to make value judgments with any clarity and objectivity if you're exercising a vendetta, if you're outside your head chasing someone else, or worse yet, you're allowing someone to live rent-free in your mind. And kindness is the opposite of that.
Absolutely.
It's allowing whatever it is that caused to affect you to understand that they too need compassion.
Love it.
So you need to give yourself some compassion here. You're probably watching us because you've yet to achieve your financial goals. So be kind to yourself first, and then immediately find yourself being as kind as possible throughout your day and environments. Watch how much comes to you. Watch how many investment opportunities come. Give yourself a month of practicing pure kindness. Watch how many more opportunities come to you that you had no idea how to manifest, other than holding the door, being polite, saying thank you to someone, saying good morning in that elevator and looking them right in the eye. That might be the CEO on whose desk your resume is about to land and why you're in the building. Just practice the kindness and feel the joy of what it is to give, and you'll find yourself receiving. It's a platitude, but it is also a certainty of life. And I can tell you, as someone who's been on the planet for a better part of a century, this is the consistency that I've witnessed. So this is what I'm here to share.
Wow. Love it. Wow. Well, listen, that wraps up another amazing episode.
Great.
And for you guys that are tuning in, I hope you continue to follow us on this journey. Today, we talked about a slew of different topics, right? And these topics, they don't only resonate with you directly, but it resonates with the person you are trying to become. And right now, this is what we have to start to think about. It's not about where we are right now and reacting where we are right now, because yes, where you are right now and being present does matter, but it's also about who are you building. And when we talk about budgeting, when we talk about mindfulness, when we talk about all these different things, it is not to say, I am going to turn on this faucet of hot water right now because I'm ready to take a shower now. It's about, can I keep the water running? So that way, when I do continue to wash off all of the bad habits, it's going to continue to serve me long term. So please, guys, continue to tune in. We cannot be more thankful for this platform and for all of you guys at home that are viewing. So again, please join Flip with Lou and Kip. And it's not about showing me the money. It's about what?
Show them the menu, Lou.
We'll see y'all next week.